Welcome to episode 140 of Play PSVR 2, the podcast. That's right. You thought we might have been gone. You thought Christmas might have killed us. You thought the new year might have killed us. Nothing's going to kill us. Nothing's going to keep us down because we are still playing PSVR 2, baby. And we're going to talk about that today. But Adam, we just had a discussion before the call about jumping the shark. I explained to you what jumping the shark means. Adam, do you think our podcast has jumped the shark?
Absolutely not. We haven't even come close to jumping a shark. The thing is, first of all, before I jump into my New Year's resolution, did you have one, Alex?
No.
No, you did. Of course, it should be to finish a single freaking game that you actually start. That's your New Year's resolution. What? Oh, you beat Arashi. Great. It's a 3-hour long game. How about play something greater than 5 hours? How about going back and being Astrobot? How about actually starting Resident Evil 4? You freaking pansy. You whippoorwill piece of crap. You suck, Alex.
Was your resolution to be meaner? Because you're doing great at it.
Very close. My New Year's resolution is I've been holding back because I didn't want to have a grudge. I didn't want to be the old man. I didn't want to always be negative. But I'm not doing that anymore. I need to stay true to myself. I'm going to let it fly, baby. Airing grievances right off the bat. First grievance. I'm a gentleman. I took your mom to the doctor. That's right. I even do the things people don't want to do. We're sitting in the waiting room. Doctor comes in, says, "Sir, I'm sorry, your girlfriend is overweight." And I'm like, "What? Look at her. Are you serious?" And he says, "Sir, yes, I have looked at her, but even more so, we did blood work. And sir, your girlfriend's so fat, when we got the blood work back, it said that her blood type was ragu." Bull crap. Second of all, I don't know what it is. These people, this technological people, Sony and maybe Apple and PlayStation, all these freaking people, they think it's a good idea to have Bluetooth devices that once you take it off of your body, it shuts down. The freaking PSVR 2 headset. I hate it. Stop. And I'm sure I probably just destroyed. I'm sorry. I'm getting angry.
Bluetooth microphone, yeah.
It's my. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Perfect. Listen, when I take the headset off, I want a drink of water. Someone knocked on the door. I need to scratch myself. I need to just find, I don't know, adjust the volume on the TV or something. Don't turn the whole freaking headset off. It pauses the game. It stops everything. Why do that? So often, I just want to adjust a small little thing. It pauses the freaking game. It stops the whole thing. So aggravating. I bought these new, I think, what are they? I think they're, who's that? I don't want to be, who's that black guy? Dr. Dre? Dr. B?
Beats by Dre. Yeah.
Beats. I got some of the little earphones. I take one of them out at the gym, stops the music. Why do that? My ear itches. I got some sweat in my ear. I want to hear from the sweeties. Take one of them off, it shuts off. Stop doing that. It's a horrendous, atrocious feature on everything. Stop it. So that's my airing of grievance, Alex, and that's my New Year's resolution. You can feel free to chime in. You probably don't have a grievance because you don't freaking play anything to have a grievance on. Life for you is happy-go-lucky.
I think that my grievance is to try to make you even angrier now. So what I'm going to do is play devil's advocate on that and say it's nice that it pauses the game when the headset comes off, because sometimes I take my headset off on accident or I got to take it off quickly. I don't want to get attacked by an enemy. I want my game to pause automatically. Sometimes my headphones falls out of my ear. I don't want to lose my spot in the podcast or audiobook, so I just want to pop it back in. Also, there's likely settings that determine whether or not it turns off automatically, which obviously you haven't explored because you're barely literate as is.
If it's in the headset, I don't know where they're at. I didn't look at it on the earphones because they're the only ones I've ever had like that, and it's so stupid because you still have one in. What? Why? Why take it off? I need, like I said, I need to hear to the sweeties. I don't want to, we have a lot to talk about, Alex, and I don't want to stop the entire progress. I don't want to jump the shark here on episode 140. So Jungle Jim's ginger beer, that's what I'm rolling with tonight. Jungle Jim's has been good to me, treated me, my family very well. I've got maybe 4 more Jungle Jim drinks from my last run, and then I got to head back, or I need to find a new supplier because, I'm running out of JG. I'm going to start calling it JG. Actually,
If
it's
you-
funny. Where I
Oh, it's
grew
like-
up, there was a GJ. Yeah, I said it wrong. Yeah.
Wait, no. Which one is the jungle? Is the jungle the J? Is it Jim as in Jimothy? Or is
Oh
it
no,
Jim as
I'm
in
talking about
gymnasium?
Gamer Juice. I'm shortening it to
Oh, okay.
GJ. Yeah.
GJ.
GJ.
My Gamer Juice. Have I done this before? This is I go to the gas station to get mine. Is this Four Loco? Have I done Four Loco before?
I don't know if I've heard of Four Loco before, and that's why it rings a bell, or if you've done it. Either way, you're doing it again.
You've probably heard of it. This is one of those drinks that was like notoriously taken off the shelf because I think too many college kids were drinking too much. Well, guess what? I'm done with
Is it
college.
also an alcoholic drink? Like, do they put alcohol with that?
It is. It's very heavily concentrated. It doesn't. Oh, it's watermelon flavor. It doesn't taste good.
So
Ooh.
that's why I remember people being like, "Oh, we got to drink Four Loco," but it is an alcoholic drink, then, huh?
Yeah, and it's gross. Oh, it's
wow.
gross. And I got to drink the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, eat a bean, big boy. You want to start the new year off with a bean?
And now I'm going to be loopy by the end of this podcast. I apologize in advance before I jump the shark and ruin this podcast.
You're going to ruin the podcast. Speaking about ruin the podcast, we're just getting it out of the way, folks. Then I swear we're going to get into some actual VR content, some reviews, some news, some hot topics. Alex received some of my, there are 2 other gifts coming that are just way later, but he's got some more of my gifts that were late. I already paid the price for eating the beans because they were late. Alex, open them up. Let's see what you got.
Here's the first one. Battle game. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but with these little springy dude. That looks fun.
Yeah. Figured it would be something. I thought during the holidays you could play with your family. Obviously, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. But
holidays are done, and my family's left me in the dust, so this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, they hate you. You can play with yourself in a different way. There we go.
Oh, so you have to hit while they're hitting. Oh, but how do you? I don't even. Is it even? Oh, I got him.
It looks like. Do you remember in South Park? There's like, is it Mike and Ike, or where are the little?
Terrence and Phillip, the Canadians.
Yeah, that's what that looks like from a distance. Yeah.
Yo, I like that, and it worked pretty well when I was battling it out. All right, we got more in here, Adam. We got more in here.
Oh yeah, there should be 2 more things. If I remember.
There's a really tiny package.
No, there's 3 more things. This thing, including being one of the 3. This is going to be a little familiar to you.
Was it like a small penis ring?
No. I'm not.
This is a toothpaste tube.
You got me one with a dog butt. I got you one with a baby peeing like the fountain.
I'm putting that right on my toothpaste tonight. That's going to be great.
Okay, remember, Alex, you don't put the whole thing in your mouth. I know you're going to be tempted to do that, but
it's a little baby, and you put that on your toothpaste, and it pees out your toothpaste. I got Adam a dog poop one because I thought he might have people around, family that he can't be lewd to. So I tried to make it something nice. But Adam,
I don't got family. Thing. I don't got friends. I don't got anything. Let's go.
All right, here we go. This is a little tiny guy.
Oh, what? Okay, I don't remember this then. This is something I don't know what's coming then.
A lavender sachet? Did you get me just a thing of lavender tea or something?
No, that was a freebie. I did not order that.
It says, pardon my French, on the customs package, dickhead latex mask prank party costume hen stag Halloween joke.
Wow.
But it's just a packet of lavender. Is this a bean? Or is this supposed to be like, I don't want to open this if it's lavender because I don't want lavender.
No, I didn't order it for you.
Okay.
If that's the only thing in that package, you got the wrong thing because
that's the only thing in this bag that says dickhead as the first thing. Item, dickhead latex.
I think they sent the wrong thing.
Get your money back, man. I'll send you a picture. We don't have around.
Well, I want you to get the real item, so I'm going to complain. The item was awesome.
Wait. Is this, maybe this is it? This is a box. You think it came in here?
No, that's something else. I mean, you should have gotten that box, but
yeah, this is the last thing. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm mad. I got you while you're opening that box. It was a Halloween mask that was a literal dickhead. It looked awesome. It was hilarious.
It looked awesome.
Like, it was detailed and everything. I can't believe instead of giving you what I ordered, they gave you a lavender What is a sachet anyhow?
You like put it under your pillow so you can smell. What is this? This is like a game?
Again, that was meant to be with family. Yeah, it's like a duck. Comes
That's
with balls,
awesome.
and you got to shoot it through his tongue. And I think there's a couple games you can play, but I think mainly the one is who can get
And
the
then
most balls in his mouth.
it's got this with a little scope. Okay.
Seems
I
totally
love Nerf
unnecessary.
guns. There we go. Now I can see exactly where I'm shooting. I'm shooting at him right in the head.
Oh,
And then how do I load these in the back? I'm not going to make everybody watch me do. Well, maybe I will make them watch me do this. I don't know how to load it. Okay, you win, listeners. I'm not going to make it, but it's got little balls here.
okay.
And
Well, while I talk, I want to see how hard it shoots. It looks like it could be fun. I figured you and maybe your kids, your family, you could have a little game out of it. I know your mom loves it when men
when you put your
shoot
one of your,
stuff.
you try to make something lewd about like you suck one of your balls up in it, and where's that sound bite? The ball goes in the hole. Oh, I lost it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I
like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I think it was where the celebration was. They said something about was it about something about sucking? I don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah.
Here, play them all. Let's go. I'm a chugger. Oh, chugger. That's it. Yeah.
And then we got.
My butthole's hot.
And then we got.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I had to use my soundboard for work, so I took the lewd ones off. I think.
Mm.
I can't. I don't know how this is supposed to work. I mean,
Okay. You work on that while I talk about Epic Rollercoasters. That's right, folks. We're actually going to start talking about some games here. So I just played the free Epic Rollercoasters. It's obviously been out for a little while, but I wanted to eventually try it. I had some time this week, so I did. Again, I only played 4 of the levels because those were the only free ones. The other ones you have to purchase, and normally they come in a bundle for $10. I feel like a little steep. So here's the thing with Epic Roller Coaster. It looks pretty good. It's not as good as Kayak VR visually, but it looks pretty good. Definitely suitable and worthy for a title like that. I feel like there are 3 different modes. There's just a normal you ride the coaster mode. There is a shooter mode where you are going through the coaster and little targets pop up and you shoot them. And then there's also a race mode where you don't race people, but rather you control how fast or slow you are moving. If you're going too fast around a curve, you don't actually wreck, unfortunately. You just get like a black screen and it takes you back, however far to the last checkpoint. So there is a little bit of gameplay variety there. There's a few things that like you could change the actual vehicle that you are on. You can have characters like goblins, like pirates, like Santa in the cart with you. You can also choose different weapons. You can have a dart gun, you can have a pistol, you can have a machine gun. And some of those are free. Many of them are, again, I'm assuming if you buy the bundle and you get 5 different levels, then you will also get the specific guns and maybe some new characters, things of that nature. Again, I think this is really cool for first timers. I would download it, have it on your system, because if someone hasn't played VR before, they're going to be impressed by how good it looks. It does for a well-seasoned VR player like myself, it did not create a visceral response. I still thought it was cool, but I didn't think like, oh, my stomach is going to drop, or I wasn't like afraid, anything like that. But for a first timer, it potentially could. Now, what this does is, one, make me want to play that section of, again, spoilers for Resident Evil 4. I don't think it's really spoilers. We've already talked about it. Who cares? You should have played it by now if you haven't. Don't be an Alex. Play the best game on the system. But it makes me want to play that little portion that's a first-person shooter where you're in the rail car going down the mines. It makes me want to play that again real bad. And this really makes me want a good Rush of Blood game. It can work. The shooting is just so minimalistic and kind of boring in this, but there's something about flying down a course, having to shoot targets that feels really good even in this. So if someone fleshed out that idea with an actual polished game, I think it would be a hit. We just need someone to show up, show out, and do it. So very quick review there. again, I think it's probably worth having if you think anyone would ever pop up, whether it be a kid, a friend, parents, and maybe want to try it out. It would be a good game to have them try. With that being said, I'm not going to pay $10 for 5 more levels that are 1 minute each and have 3 modes that are kind of like meh. And because of that, I think I'm going to put it above Travel the Words. It's going to be number 40 on our list.
So below Zenith. Okay, I'll put it in there, Adam. You don't worry. You don't know how to use spreadsheets. I do.
Bull crap. I was going to do it hard. Yeah, I thought about putting it above Zenith, but Zenith is just more of a fledged out game and uses the VR a bit more. I couldn't do that. Travel the Words, obviously, that shouldn't even be a game. Cactus Cowboy just sucked. Maybe you have an argument actually that Cactus Cowboy is better than Epic Rollercoasters. And I don't agree with you that Switchback is the worst game. I mean, I haven't played it. I just can't believe it's the worst. But
I need you to play it. I need somebody to play it besides me to give me a real evaluation. If I'm going crazy, if I'm not.
Well, the thing is, if you say you're right, then I'm not gonna pay $40-$60 for it like you did.
Yeah, Adam, you've brought up a couple of points that I want to discuss a little bit. Really, you brought up a point just by ranking this below Zenith. I wanted to give a shout out. Apparently, Zenith, they have one more update coming out, and they said this is the make it or break it update. And if this doesn't make the game more fun and more playable, then they're going to kill the Zenith servers, and Zenith will no longer exist. Adam, do you feel any compulsion to try Zenith again after this next update?
I think I'd have to look at what exactly they're doing. The thing is, I don't think I don't know if I disliked Zenith. I don't like the MMO aspect of it. I just don't like MMOs. That's the way it is. I mean, that's just personal preference. The gameplay was too slow, I think. Like it worked and it was cool to use room scale and move around and swipe with a sword, but I want it to be like fast and rigorous, not I have to, swipe and then back up, wait for my power to recharge, then swipe. And I've probably been spoiled by playing games like, Ghost of Tsushima or Final Fantasy VII or these games that it's that type of play, but everything is just so fast. And it's like kind of button mashing, but everything is so fast. The issue with it is I think they should have done this update long time ago. I think even if it's better, the people, even though we have friends who've reviewed it and have played it in the past, I don't think we're going to go back to it. So I don't know what their benchmark is on saying, okay, this is successful. We're going to keep that server up. But I feel like they've had to have probably missed it because not enough people are going to go back to a game they didn't love to begin with, unless maybe we research and it's like they would have to redesign the entire game, completely get rid of MMO. They would need to have it more linear and like more obvious what to do. Like they would essentially have to make a new game. I think they should take it down.
You think they should take it down? No, I mean your points are valid. I think my issue with the game is, and this is a me thing, right? I'm not a big MMO guy, but I've played a couple and I've enjoyed a couple and really gotten into them. I think what didn't hook me with Zenith was that the beginning gets like it's too difficult, or it's not necessarily difficult, but you're not powerful enough in the beginning. Like with any good RPG, you start off and the enemies they almost just die after the first hit. You get a sense of power to it. But in Zenith, like the enemies you first meet take a little bit of fighting to get them down. And then you do your first like dungeon and like those enemies are bad news and you got to be serious about it. And you never feel that like power enhancement, right? Like if that's what I'm meeting at the base level, then even if I level up and get stronger, the next enemy I'm going to meet is going to be that bullet sponge type enemy, that damage sponge enemy, where I have to hit him and be strategic for every single fight, which is fine for a boss fight, right? Like you earn that win at the end, but I do want to blast through a dungeon quickly without much effort. And maybe it's a lot easier if you're playing with multiplayer, but also that's the issue is player base is low, and I don't want to necessarily have to rely on others being around me. And I don't know if this is going to sound so dumb, and it's probably the antithesis of an MMO. If they had a character class that was shooting like machine guns and you just leveled up your machine guns, almost like Borderlands or something, it would make the game so much more fun, I think. Because like I don't like the floaty melee combat. The magic was fun, like I thought it worked well, but again, that was really underpowered. So like I want to feel like if I cast like some giant avalanche ice storm, like it's gonna do something, right?
Yeah.
This is just like another way of damaging the enemies. Um, it would make me sad if Zenith went out of business and they stopped running the servers because it's the only game like it that we have on PSVR 2. And for me, it's like a game that's in my backlog. Like, I might come back around to this at some point. And if the servers go down, I can never come back around to it if I get that MMO itch. Which
you shouldn't. Here's the thing. I think they have potential as a studio. So what I'm hoping, shut this down, work on something else that isn't an MMO. Take your skills, do something else. That's what I would prefer. You're right. It took way too long to level up. You weren't strong enough. I hate depending on other people because I don't want to play with children. We've already talked about it. Go back to our episode where we talk about Zenith. Yeah, I mean, that's where I stand.
Okay. And then speaking of companies going out of business, did you see the news that the firewall developers are closing their doors?
It's been long overdue. I'm sorry. You guys suck. Garbage. You should be
This is that
ashamed.
harsh Adam. Yeah, this is your New Year's resolution.
Here is New Year's resolution, Adam. I say it as it is. You don't have to wonder. I'm not like a woman where you're like, and that's stereotyping. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Adam, you're digging yourself into a hole.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Okay.
But like I will say some people that I've dated or I know, and they happen to be females, they say something, but not what they really mean. So then you have to like try to think about, well, they didn't mean what they said. So what is that supposed to mean? What I say is what I mean, baby. What you see is what you get. What you hear is what you get. And that's what you're going to get. This studio sucked. They underperformed. I would argue even from the very first game. I don't know what to tell you. I'm glad they're not making another game. I don't think it would have been good either. I'm sure there are some people on there that are decent. I kind of feel bad that Sony bought this team and it flopped. Maybe Sony, you should have put out a new Astrobot instead of spending millions of dollars on these freaking losers to just put out another garbage game that got overlooked immediately by like 3 predecessors that were way better. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I'm sorry, sue me.
Yeah, I mean, kind of to echo that sentiment, like I don't think the studio shuttering is undeserved, especially looking at like this was the sequel to Firewall, right? Anytime a game comes out and it has a moderate amount of success, when the sequel comes out, it should fix the issues that the first game had. This game didn't fix the issues, and it added new issues with like its automatic aiming or something like that. I don't want to say like making games is really hard, right? And these guys are probably talented in some avenue, and I hope they land somewhere appropriate. But Firewall Ultra to me was like they didn't listen to anything that anybody worried about for the original game. You're still waiting an absurd amount of time before you start playing the game. And then the brass tacks is that the gameplay just isn't that fun unless you're like one of those guys in the know who have devoted their life to Firewall. My assumption is that Sony looked at the metrics and they said, hey, Firewall is one of our top sellers. Let's offer them some money to port it over to the PSVR 2, maybe make some enhancements. When in reality, it should have been like, let's build a sequel, but from the ground up and fix all the issues we had with server issues and stuff like that. And they just didn't do that. It sounds like they tried to take what might be a shortcut, even though it didn't come out at launch, and it kind of bit them in the butt. So it's not like I want them to hang around because I feel worse about Zenith going under than I do about Firewall going under. Because Zenith seems like an honest effort. It did some things nice. Firewall didn't really like Pavlov is out there now, right? And now we have Breachers, which is a game that's relatively new and it's cross-play, so you can play against Quest and PC people, and it does the same thing but better. So I'm disappointed people might be getting laid off or something like that, but it just seems like horrible mismanagement, which is always the case with these things. Just kind of did them in. Also, aim controller was the big selling point of Firewall 1. There's no aim controller here, right? Like that. Firewall felt good when it felt good because you had the aim controller. You felt like you were holding a shotgun or a rifle or something like that. When you have the Sense controllers, which are great and I love them, you don't get that tactile feeling that the aim controller gives you. So it's just the feather in their cap got removed, and then their game was exposed to be what it is. So yeah, I thought we had to discuss that a little bit because it happened while we were out. Poor guys, hope you land somewhere good. But man, it's the wrong horse to hitch your wagon to, I guess I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd also argue, look, building a bridge, working with or creating the Freon, doing taxes, treating cancer, all these other things are very difficult too, right? So it's your job and you were bad at it. Sorry, you're gone.
God, man,
Alex.
Adam's the worst, guys.
Yeah,
Okay, let's move
here's
on.
the
Yeah.
thing. Well, if I do a bad job on my job, I'm gonna get fired. I want another Astrobot, and instead of Astrobot, I got Firewall Ultra. Here,
What if you got? Hold on. What if the Firewall Ultra devs, First Contact Entertainment? Okay, we're not going to dissolve you guys. You guys can hang around, but your job is now you have to make Astrobot 2. How would you feel if it was announced that the Firewall devs were making Astrobot 2? I would be horrified, honestly.
yeah, I guess I would have more concerns than not, but I don't know if it was them developing that was the problem or the idea. Like, I don't know. I'm done talking about it. We have too much stuff to cover. Do you want to go over Arashi? You think you got time?
Yeah, I'll do a quick review of Arashi. So this isn't, we didn't get sent a code, so I don't like to do like a full review unless we get sent a code. But I'll talk about my impressions of Arashi. And really, this is, if I had to title this thesis, it's in defense of Arashi. Arashi, Castles of Sin. I think it's called the Final Edition or something like that, Ultimate Edition. This is a game that came out not long ago, right? It came out around the same time that Arizona Sunshine 2, Resident Evil 4 came out. So it got overshadowed in that sense. It was ported to PSVR 2 from the team that made Arizona Sunshine, I think. The Vertigo at least published it, right? So that's a name that's got enough cachet in the space where I want to investigate what they're doing. The game looked really fun from the footage. When it came out, it got teetotally panned. I think, some of those big reviewers gave it like a 4 out of 10. And I played a little bit, and I did have issues with it, right? Like I said, the controls were really bad, right? You're wherever you're looking doesn't matter. You have this body instance, and that's what matters where you move. They fixed that within a week, and then I played through the rest of the game. And Adam, I'll be damned if I didn't have a really, really, really good time with this game. Now, there's caveats with it, okay? Now, as we expect with PSVR or VR games in general, it's really in an experimental phase when we talk about VR games, right? Everybody's trying to figure out how this stuff works, especially this being a PSVR 1 port. A lot of the mechanics were laid down already in this age where we didn't know how VR games work best. That being said, this is one of the only games that really recreates the feeling of something like Tenchu, or to a lesser degree, something like Splinter Cell, where it's like a stealth action game. You're an assassin. I think what messes people up is they see the game and they think it's like Ghost of Tsushima, which you really liked, or a game where there's going to be ample sword fighting. Now, in this game, you do have sword fighting, but really it's like a last resort method of taking care of enemies. You also get shuriken, you get landmines, you get grenades, you get all sorts of stuff. You have a pet dog that can attack enemies. You get bow and arrows, all sorts of stuff. You even get a gun at one point. But what I'll say about the game is that if you go into it expecting a sword fighter melee game like Ghost of Tsushima, it's not that. This is a game where you go through the levels, which are admittedly very large, I think, for like single levels that you run through. And you got to find the path through them so that you can, quietly neutralize all the enemies without causing a ruckus and get to the end of the level. And you feel like a real ninja. You feel like a real assassin. Now, when you get to the end of a level, you have a boss fight. And that is where there's sword fighting. But the boss fights, initially I thought were just like sword fighting. And that was like not great because the sword fighting is not wonderful. Basically, the premise is you got to block an attack and then attack them after you block it. But the boss fights play out as kind of like a puzzle, right? Every boss has like a different little thing that it does odd, and you have to figure out what's happening. And it's not transparent, it's not obvious, but it worked well, and it made the boss fights really fun. So yeah, if you're going in there expecting sword fighting, one thing I really like about the game is that it does a lot of the legwork for you in terms of like throwing shuriken. Like you throw a ninja star at somebody, you don't have to aim very well. It's going to do some auto aim for you. And some people might not like that because they love VR and they can aim themselves. But I think, especially when it comes to throwing in VR has never been done right. this does a good job of it, where it'll auto, like, obviously I want to throw this ninja star at this guy that's like across the field from me. And I'm a ninja, so I'm apparently supposed to be good at doing it. So go ahead and do that legwork for me. I don't have to think about that stuff. You just have to put enough momentum on it, and it'll go and take the guy out. I appreciate that. Same with the bow and arrow. Aim in the general direction, let go, it'll hit the guy. So you're not wasting time with finicky VR mechanics. You just get the feeling that you are this like ninja assassin. One thing I really want to highlight: the story in this game is really good. The presentation in this game is really good. It is one of the most authentic feeling Japanese games I've played. We have even Ghost of Tsushima, I think to a degree pales in comparison to how like authentic Japanese feeling. You know, I lived in Japan for a handful of years. Some of these environments looked really familiar to me, and they kind of matched the architecture of like the buildings that I would see when I was around there. And I really appreciated that. The story's good. You're basically an assassin for a family in Japan who's been aggrieved by these 7 different shoguns. And so you have to go find each shogun and kill them, which is a really cool concept, right? And those shoguns are the boss fights when you get there. They each represent, I think, one of the 7 deadly sins, which is kind of a cool theme to explore there. But I just enjoyed all of it. The worst thing about the game to me, aside from it feeling kind of stilted and robotic, is that the game ends right when it's going to be great. The last boss fight is laughable in terms of how easy it is. And they build up this big bad guy, and he's the easiest boss you'll fight in the whole game. And it's not because you're powered up. It's because the way you beat him is just so stupid easy. It's like very disappointing. And then you climb some mountain and something happens and you're like, oh, the real big bad boss fight's about to begin. And then the credits roll. That's disappointing. But aside from that, like, I was playing Arizona Sunshine and Resident Evil 4 and Arashi. And when I put on my headset, the game I felt most compelled to play at that time was Arashi, just because something about the game hooked me and made me want to play it a bit more. Maybe because I knew I had like a quick, definite end to it. I don't know, but if you take the game on its terms and you understand what it's trying to do and you play in that mechanism, it's a really enjoyable experience. So I feel bad that the game came out with all these 4 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s. I think it's it's a very healthy 7 out of 10 to me. If I were going to rate it or something like that. So, well, do you have any questions about it, Adam? Adam, I know you're never going to play it, and if you did play it, you'd hate it after the first 5 minutes.
Everyone. I think it's pretty definitive. It's not a good game, and yet you're giving it a 7 out of 10.
No, the thing is like when it came out on PSVR 1, it got really good reviews, and this is a better version of that. So I don't know how it could necessarily be worse, aside from it being a little bit outdated. But it's the same kind of issue we ran into with budget cuts, where like, yeah, the game's remastered, it looks better, it plays better, but it's still that basic game design kind of holds it back a little bit. But it's still a really fun game, especially if you take it on its terms.
I'm not taking it by its terms. I want to play the way I play. Here's the thing. So if it's more of a stealth game, right? And some of these are PSVR games, right? I'm still, they all mix together. Why play this over Home Sweet Home or Intruders or... Sure, there's other stealth VR games I can't think of right now. Those are the first 2 that pop up in my mind.
So you're thinking of like stealth horror. This is more like stealth assassin. More like
no, I'm just talking about stealth in general. Like if I want to play like a stealth game, why this? Because you're right, the others are horror, but Home Sweet Home, you still also like attacked and stuff. That was part of it.
It's like in the other ones you're like hiding, right? There's something that's going to like take you out. And this one, you're more like on the offensive. It's like an offensive stealth type game. Like I have a grappling hook and I find a grappling hook area. I shoot, go up to the roof, take out like 3 or 4 enemies with my bow and arrow, jump down, assassinate the guys. I land on them. Like that kind of stuff is fun. You go into like a castle and then you're like jumping from post to post in the ceiling so they can't see you and figuring out the best way to take out enemies without alerting other enemies. It's really fun. And that kind of like...
So when you fail, give me an idea of what happens when you fail. Is it if you're found, you fail, or do you have a chance to like fight your way through them if they, you're trying to be stealthy, but they find you?
Yeah. I mean, the game's not super difficult, but if they find you, then they, raise the alarm if you don't kill them fast enough. And then other guys come running at you. Right. And you probably will die if you have like 3 or 4 guys coming at you. The game's not super difficult. Right. But
how long are the load screens?
Not terribly long. It wasn't anything of note. There were some load screens, but it wasn't anything terrible like that bothered me.
So why don't you think I would play it?
Because you would go into it expecting Ghost of Tsushima. The sword fighting is pretty clunky. It doesn't feel very smooth, and that's what you go into it trying to do.
I
And
mean, all you do is swipe. How smooth can it be?
I mean, it's not like if the enemy's not attacking and I swipe the sword, they're going to block automatically. Even if I swipe in a direction opposite their block, right? It's not doing that kind of like assessment of like, okay, their sword is held vertically. So if I like stab them, then it'll go past their vertical block or anything. It's just they're blocking. And so there's like some stamina mechanisms that aren't super clear and don't really work very well. And so there's kind of like waiting for them to attack so you can block and then parry and then attack. It's just a budget. It just really feels like something you wouldn't necessarily enjoy. But I found a lot of enjoyment out of it. So, Adam, we're running out of time in this segment, but I do want to
go ahead, put it in the top 3. I know you're gonna.
I think it's going to go above Resident Evil 8. No. Seriously, I'm looking at the list here, and what really resonated with me, what honed in for me, is looking at the Garden of the Sea and the Pixel Ripped 1978, and then all the games underneath Pixel Ripped 1978. This game really had me wanting to come back a lot. That's the thing, is that I would stop playing the game, not because I was done playing, but because I had to go do something else. And I felt bad, and I couldn't wait until I got to hop back in and do a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is put this below Garden of the Sea, which is another game that gave me that feeling. And I'm going to put it above Pixel Rip 1978, which is a game that didn't give me that feeling, which was a good game, but it didn't make me like necessarily feel like I need to come back. This game is so good. So it's going here. It's taking the new number 20 spot. And that's Arashi at number 20 on our all-time list.
So would you go? Do you think you're going to get the feeling to go back now that you finished it?
I had a slight, I mean, it's been about 2 weeks now since I played it. I had a slight twinge to go back and get the platinum trophy. But aside from that, there's not really much reason. Maybe like 5 years from now when it's kind of like left my memory and I just want to re-experience that, I might. But it's unlikely I'm going to replay it. But for what it is, you know, it was a $30 game. I got a good like 6 hours out of it that I really enjoyed and had a good time with. I can't ask for much more, right? I have so many games to play that I don't need a game that's going to occupy 100 hours of my time.
You could play Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I got to save that for when there's a lull of games to play.
Dude, what like are you? You're never. There's a lull right now. There's nothing to play.
Dude, there's tons of stuff to play, and we're going to cover that in the second.
No, it's all stuff that is clearly worse than Resident Evil 4. The thing is, here's New Year's resolution. Adam coming out. You are an idiot. You are a straight up freaking moron. I don't know what it is about you not wanting to play legitimate games. The games that are fantastic, you won't play, but the freaking 4 out of 10s, you play the crap out of those. You finish those ones, then you rate them a 7 out of 10. Well, you know what? I'm going to rate this podcast a 3 out of 10 because your takes suck. Only this episode. The rest of the podcast, of course, is a 10 out of 10. You suck, Alex. I want you to play Resident Evil 4. I don't know what I have to do. Do I need to come there and take your family hostage? I already take your mom hostage every Saturday night. What more do you want? Listen, thank you for listening to this segment. We have a new review. We've got a couple decisions, some opinions, some news, maybe some sales coming up in the next segment. So don't you go away because we're coming for you next. Welcome back to Play PSVR2, episode 140, segment 2 for the listeners and for the viewers, everybody who's watching us. Adam, we got some comments on the last couple of episodes. I want to make sure that you get to hear them. So right out of the gate, we got one comment here from a buddy. I'm just going to call him Thomas. Alex, please consider upgrading your microphone. Adam's mic sounds much more clear. Oh, that's the first time that's ever happened.
Now, I wonder if this is
Let's
the issue.
go.
I wonder if this is an issue of people just getting us confused, because that happens a lot. Even when I was a guest host on a podcast, and they introduced me as Adam, and I was so mad. So mad.
No. Thomas got it right. I sound silky smooth. This is the same voice that takes your mom down. Listen, you sound like crap. But Thomas, it may just be his takes that are so bad it makes his sound just sound horrible. It's not the mic, it's his takes.
I'll just say my microphone came from J Brat. And so if J Brat sounds bad, then that's why I sound bad. Also, I'm using original audio on the Zoom calls, which means it doesn't filter out the background sound, because we got the soundboard of
Blammo!
And
I'm a chugger.
And if you guys want to lose that, then sure, we can lose that. But that's where my sound might sound not great at all times. Adam, we got more here. I love this one. It came from our buddy Jay Devil came in hot. Yes, Adam's wrong.
My
like
takes
always.
Don't suck. I mean, am I on all the time? Okay, there may be some differences. I'll admit that. But all of them, I'm pretty positive for VR. I just tell you what not to play and what to play. So it's not that I'm overtly negative. It's that I am real. I will admit we've got 7 effing bangers in the house that anyone who plays are going to be amazed. But I'm sorry if I'm not going to say Firewall should be played. Oh, we need to play freaking Zenith. No, they should be shut down.
I love that I just said the name of the person commenting, and you already had a tangent locked and loaded. Yeah, Adam's wrong like always. Always do the opposite of what Adam thinks, and you'll enjoy VR. Like Adam is not even a real gamer. The dude's on a PlayStation podcast, and he didn't play Horizon. This guy. What else do we got?
Why am I going to pay $60 for a tech demo when Alex already did and reviewed it?
Yeah, no.
I agree. If Alex hadn't, I agree. I should feel the need and I should feel obligated to do it. But based on the reviews, I can't do it. It was Golden Joystick's VR Game of the Year, I believe, which is just absolute trash. I don't know. You guys should be freaking ashamed of yourselves. Golden Joystick, not anyone else. That's who that was directed to.
He also came to us saying, the minecart was okay. I just kept thinking this is so Gen 1 VR. Coaster combat is the same thing. The simplest stuff wins this guy over. First C Smash, now minecart. Shaking my head. My kids enjoy roller coaster games in VR too.
Dude, are you effing kidding me? If you did not have fun on that rail car going down the mine shaft, shooting enemies, having the stress of multitasking and being accurate, moving your body to not flip. Oh, sir, you might have problems. I mean, that was just freaking jacked up fun. That may be the most fun I've had in PSVR since I've got it. Seriously, it is. If Alex would ever play the game, he would back me up, but he's not. I don't know what it is. You played Resident Evil 8. Why are you afraid to play Resident Evil 4?
It took me a while to play Resident Evil 8. I have to be able to find enough time to take it procedurally because it's a longer game. But Adam, I got another one here, and I got a defense for you right out of the gate. Just imagine if someone like Adam was the one reviewing VR at IGN. Think about how effed VR would be then. C Smash would have won Game of the Year from him, LOL. Now, Adam, before you comment, Digital Foundry did like a recap of games of the year, and their VR game of the year for PSVR 2, I believe, was C Smash, or at least it was in the honorable mentions. So I don't think you're alone for thinking C Smash is great, because Digital Foundry, who includes flat games, thought that C Smash is one of the best games that came out this year. So I think you're right for enjoying C Smash so much.
The thing is, these people are unhinged. All right, who was that? Was that also J Devil?
All of these are from J Devil so far. Yeah.
Oh, freaking J Devil! Listen, here's the thing. I enjoy C Smash. I haven't played it as much as I thought I would because it did get old. I have it at number 9, dog. I put VR Skater over it. I put Pavlov over it. I put Crossfire over it. So it is not winning no VR Game of the Year. It's top 10 and it's barely top 10. So you get your facts straight, JD Devil. You little devil.
I think him not appreciating C Smash says more about him than it says about C Smash. But
I
moving
think
on,
the fact he didn't like the minecart level in Resident Evil says more about him than anything.
and the minecart was from the flat version of the game too. So it's just that's just if you don't like it, it's the game design itself, not VR, right?
No, people on Reddit are like, dog, this is my favorite part. And I agreed with him. I didn't even see that. You were the one who showed me, and I went back and looked at that Reddit post, and people were like, yeah, it's so good. I don't care what you say. And you know what? I don't know, I bet he is a Demio player. He seems like a freaking Demio player through
It
and
seems
through.
like a Demio player.
Freaking,
That's
and
right.
by the way, that is an insult. Anyhow, Alex, we need to keep moving on.
No, I got one more. I got one more comment.
Oh god.
Shout out to our buddy Corporate Zombie. Yeah, I'm just gonna read this real fast. Okay, cutscenes break immersion, but they also do that in flat games, right? Because your agency's taken away. And your character may do things you as a player wouldn't do, so you shouldn't dock points for that, in my opinion, especially if you didn't dock points for having the same cutscenes in the flat game. IGN, you effing morons. LOL. I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you, Corporate Zombie.
I disagree.
Us up here.
I disagree. In a flat game, it's fine. You're not immersed in a flat game. In VR, you're totally immersed. And I think it brings to light when you had Resident Evil 8 where you didn't have cutscenes. And granted, the little bit of cutscenes they had were a little jank because they were still in VR. And then you have that experience so close to Resident Evil 4 with flat cutscenes. Light and day difference. Massive downgrade. I'm sorry, Zombie.
But his point is that you have a game that gets a 10 out of 10 in the flat version, and then in the VR version, you take points away because those same cutscenes exist. I don't think that's fair. And
I think it is fair. It's we say all the time, VR is like it's a whole different game. You have to treat it differently. Now, do I still think it should have gone a 10 out of 10? Yeah, I think that's nuts. But that is one critique that I actually agree with. The fact they don't admit how much scarier and how much more visceral and how much more enjoyable and fun it is absurd. But that little thing, I got to agree with them.
I just want to, I want to find the one person who's still hitting the analog sticks, still pulling the triggers on the controller when they're playing Resident Evil 4 in flat mode and a cutscene comes on, right? Like the immersion's broken. The gameplay loop is broken when you hit a cutscene, regardless if it's in VR or if it's in flat mode. That was my whole point. Corporate Zombie said it eloquently. Thank you, Corporate Zombie. Now, Adam, I will free you to move us on.
I've already said my piece there. Okay. I'm a little concerned here, Alex. You and I love us some Crossfire. It's real good. We're not quite done with all the multiplayer missions. So we hopped on this week. We had some server issues. We couldn't even play. That is a major problem. Game is so good. I don't know, it's a double-edged sword, right? It's like your phone. If you don't update it, there's going to be some stuff that are missing, right? You don't get anything new. The phone is just how it is. It works. You like it, but it doesn't get better, right? But if you risk updating your phone or updating your computer and it potentially ruins it and now it's not functional, it's a problem. And this is kind of the issue Crossfire has going on. We couldn't even play multiplayer, which honestly, really, in my opinion, is what it hangs its hat on. Like, I'll play the first player missions again, too. I have no issues with that. But multiplayer, we just have a lot of fun in it. That's what has us keep going back and back. You think this should be something a software patch, an update should fix, right?
I'm not entirely convinced. I mean, this call we're doing right now seems to be going fine. I'm not entirely convinced it's not an issue on either your end or my end in terms of how the game works. But if there are persistent server issues, I hope to God they patch it. I don't know why they'd be introduced from a previous patch. But yeah, the game was literally unplayable in the sense that we just couldn't keep a consistent game together. Like, I died and disappeared, though I could still see you, but you weren't moving, that kind of stuff. Maybe we just got to try again, later this weekend and see if we can make it work. Because it's a shame if something were introduced that created server issues. That's a huge shame because the game's so freaking fun and we have a good chunk left to play. We play the hell out of it and we still have a good chunk left to play. So So yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing is the word.
If anyone notices issues, let us know. I'm going to assume most people probably don't play that much anymore, just because they moved on to other games. But if you have seen it, heard of it, had issues, let us know. Pretty soon, I'm going to be getting gigabit internet, and if we have issues on that for fiber optic, or it's fiber optic is what I'm getting, then it's definitely their server issues. So
I'm gonna call my lawyer and file a lawsuit against Smilegate Entertainment to make sure that they fix this patch, or else I'm gonna sue them to oblivion, send them the way of First Contact Entertainment, the firewall people.
that's right. You gave us one of the best experiences of our life, and then you took it away.
And that's worse than not giving it to us at all.
You would know. Boom roasted. I need a stream deck so I can add the little badum tis thing because I don't have one and it's a shame because
I think I got one here. No, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, you don't have it loaded up. Okay, Alex. So I am soon going to be purchasing a house. Alex has lived in a house his entire life, so he's been freaking spoiled. I have not. So I'm going to be in a house, which I am looking forward to. One of the issues I have, Alex, and one of the big decisions I need to make prior to moving in, how am I going to set up a VR play area? And you have done this multiple times. Again, I don't know how many houses you've had since I've known you, but it's been quite a few. So I'm curious, do you have advice? Here's what's going through my head. I'm going to have a living room that's certainly big enough to play VR. However, obviously, when you walk into the house, it's the first thing people see. Do I want people to see the headset? Do I want that aesthetic, or do I want it to be a bit cleaner? But that is going to be where my big TV is at. I do have some other bedrooms that I could use as VR, but then the whole room is finished. The whole room would need to be like a gaming or a VR room, which do I want to devote an entire room to nothing but that? Seems like a costly endeavor. Do I care the shape of the room as long as it's big enough for room scale? Who cares? When you decided where to play VR in a new home, what were some of the thoughts? Or did you not have thoughts and you just played wherever you could find?
I didn't put too much thought into it initially. When I recently just moved into a new home, and I put my VR setup in my office where I work, and I was like, fine, whatever. Like I can just like hop in and play VR whenever I need to. And I ran into issues there. And now I've moved it somewhere else, and it's been a lot better. So I will tell you, like, yeah, if you have the ability to make it a place where you can do room scale, if you have that ability. Sounds like you do. The other thing is, you don't want a ceiling fan. Ceiling fans are just nightmares for VR system because you won't know where you are with respect to that ceiling fan. And if you're like me, you're going to hit that ceiling fan multiple times when you play Pavlov or whatever. The other thing is, I don't think it makes sense to have this stuff set up like in a common area where people are regularly going to be going to. Now, the difficulty is like PS5, right? There's a lot of good flat games you might want to play. So you want the good TV for the PS5. So you kind of have to weigh this balance of how often am I playing non-VR games versus how often I'm playing VR games, right? Because if you sequester it to a room, you can only play your PS5 there unless you're like me and you're cool. You got a PlayStation Portal, play that in bed. Yeah.
Because he ain't doing anything else in bed.
Because I'm impotent.
Get rocked. See, but I need this.
But so I recently moved my VR from my office to like a more common-ish area, but not quite the living room. And it's been so much better that I have the couch, I have the TV, I have the games, I can play flat if I want to. But having a space where I know there's not going to be people walking through it a lot, and that I don't have to like necessarily put everything away so it looks nice if I have guests or something, that's really nice. The other nice thing would be make sure you have a good way, if you want to be able to set up like those ceiling hinges so you could have the cord go through the ceiling so it feels more like a wireless experience. I haven't done that yet. I have plans to do that, but that's just something to think forward. Like, how am I going to make this better? Not only is it a good place to play VR, but it's a place that I can make optimal for VR if I get the right component. So that's the stuff I'm thinking about.
So yeah, another thing to also think about, I guess for me, The only rooms that I would really think about making an entire VR room is upstairs, and I have a slanted ceiling. So those rooms have slants. They aren't like a square. So, not saying there's not enough room to, obviously play VR. There is, but if I move too close to one side of the room, now I'm encountering a slant. I'm a little worried that I'll, spike the ball, or I'll throw a punch, or I'm going to do something, punch that slanted ceiling. I'm a little worried about that, to be honest.
I think the PlayStation Guardian mode does a decent job of like letting me know when I'm in the wrong area. So I think that'll help you out a little bit to make sure you don't hit the ceiling. Because even if you had like a perfect, rectangular room that fit the requirements, you still might run into the wall and hit it. So you're going to have to rely on that Guardian to some capacity. So I don't think the slants are going to be that bad, assuming you have a decent amount of room to play within. So I think really it sounds, it's an embarrassment of riches to be able to have a room in any capacity that you can play VR in. But you just want to make sure you have room to move around, not necessarily a common room, right? Because a common room is going to have like a coffee table or side tables or chairs sitting around.
Dude, not me. You kidding
Not
me?
you. You need VR room scale room, 6x6, baby.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm leaning toward putting in my living room. It has the bedroom is just freaking ginormous. Like, it's stupid how big the bedroom is. It's actually ridiculous. It almost angers me. But I don't want everything to be. I'm not going to put my PS5, my nice TV, everything in the bedroom. What would be in the living room? So I think I'm leaning toward putting it in the living room. There's enough room. There's some built-in bookshelves and like a little cabinet. Maybe I'll try to hide the PS5 and stuff to try to give it more of a clean look, but all of my gaming stuff is hidden, so you don't see the cords and stuff as much. I don't know how successful that's going to be, but what is most important to me? VR. So that's what should be priority number one. So
now one wrinkle for you I'm going to throw in there is it's not out yet, but it's going to be coming out. Little Star VR for PSVR 2. You got to make sure you're not like in front of a window.
Oh, the living room has huge windows, and I'm gonna open them, and it's gonna be like the leg lamp in the Christmas Story. Nothing but raw sexuality shining out into the world.
All right, then it sounds like the problem's solved. If you're ready to present yourself to the world in that way, yeah, you're good.
So are you serious? Is it actually coming out?
Yeah, the company changed the name. It's called like Rad VR or something. They're in the process of getting something out for VR. It'll be nice. Everybody's clamoring for like a media viewer in PSVR 2. So it's coming out at some point. I just don't know the status of it at the moment.
All right, Alex, I'm excited. I can't stand you. All I want you to do is play quite possibly the best game VR has ever created, including Half-Life Alyx, including Vertigo 2, every title in the world, and you just won't do it. You say, there's other games to play. There aren't, but you keep buying games. You've bought some game here. You've played it. You're ready to even kind of give us a little review of it, but somehow you want me to guess. You can tell me about the game, and then I'm going to try to guess it, right?
It's a bean bet, Adam. If you guess the game, I got to eat a bean. If you don't get it, you got to eat a bean, okay? Is that fair enough?
I mean, do I at least get some hints?
We'll see how it goes, Adam.
Oh, what? That's impossible.
Here's the deal. I buy a bunch of gifts for my like family and my kids and stuff, and I get credit. I get cash back on that credit card. I use that credit card to buy PlayStation store credit. And then I buy a bunch of games because a bunch are on sale. So, Adam, I bought a bunch of games the past week, and I've played one of them, and I'm ready to talk about them. But before we do that, I need you to guess which game out of this list you think I actually bought. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read them off here, and you got to decide which game out of this list of 6 I actually bought. We have Five Nights at Freddy's. We have Breachers. We have Vampire the Masquerade Justice. We have Prison Boss VR. We have Toss. And we have Tiger Blade. Which one do you think I bought?
So this is a bean bet. I have a 1/6 chance of getting it right, and you eating the bean.
You know me, so it's less than a 1 to 6.
Dude, this is trash. Are you kidding me? This is a garbage bet.
Let's even it up. I'll give you 2 chances. How about that?
Okay, that seems more fair. It's still bullcrap. I have nothing to go on. How is this fair? Okay, it's not Five Nights at Freddy's. Not only are you too big of a woman, the game's just not good. So get that out of there. It's not that. I don't think it's Prison Boss VR. Doesn't seem like your type of game. Get it out of there. That's you didn't buy that. So have you bought this and played it, correct?
Yeah, because I'm going to talk about it after.
Okay,
this,
okay, that's what I want to be sure. You're not talking about Prison Boss VR. Get that out of there. Toss. I know you like tossing salad, but not in VR. Get that out of there.
What's that mean?
Actually, I somewhat forgot. I think it's sexual in nature, but get that out of there. The other three, I could very well see you purchasing and playing. Vampire the Masquerade, you tried to get me to buy not long ago, 2 weeks ago. It seemed like a good game. Maybe a game I should buy. A game I very much think you could have bought. Breachers. People say they like Breachers. I know we have shooters, but you like buying these games that are, you already have them, but you still freaking buy them. I feel like you, and even earlier in the episode, you kind of started to defend Breachers a little bit. I forgot in what context, but you seemed a little defensive, not wholeheartedly. Makes me think it could be that. And I don't even know what Tiger Blade is, but it sounds like something you would try just because I don't know why. It's just the name of it. You liked Arashi. Tiger Blade sounds like something similar. Sword stuff has a little Asian culture to it. That's probably why I think that's a possibility. However, I think my first guess is going to be Breachers.
No, but how to do the There we go.
I didn't hear it, by the way, but Bob Saget. Oh, I'm going to go Vampire the Masquerade.
No way, man. No way. No way.
Oh, no. I hate this game. It's not fair. There's no way.
Okay, no. Now we've got it down to 1 out of, 4? Last guess. This is, the odds are in your favor now.
Oh, I thought you only gave me 2.
I'm going to give you 1 more because you're scared about it not being fair.
No, okay, so now it's not Tiger Blade because you wouldn't give. Did you tell me I had 3 guesses before I guessed the first 2?
No, I didn't. This is the whole.
Okay, so Tiger Blade is not it. You wouldn't do this if you did buy Tiger Blade. You
got 4 games. You got Five Nights at Freddy's, Prison Boss VR, Toss, and Tiger Blade. Which one do you think I got?
You are an idiot. What is this? And still, no, it was a. Now we're at a 50-50 shot from the beginning. So the odds aren't in my favor, you effing liar. Tiger Blade, I don't think you would do this if it were Tiger Blade. So I'm going to get that out of there. Man, I really am shocked. I did not think you were going to buy any of those games. I still don't think you bought Five Nights at Freddy's. Prison Boss. I don't know what Toss is. I don't know what Prison Boss is. Gosh. Toss. Did you buy Toss?
No! Yes, I did!
No! Are you serious? Yes! I just guessed. Yeah. Woo! Why?
Oh, I gotta wheel like a spin. Here we go.
Why did you buy this?
I'm gonna tell you why I bought it here in just a second.
First, I'm gonna spin. Okay.
Okay, you spin because my spinner's broken. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
But I'll save this for after the impressions, and then.
You got lucky. It's a stinky socks.
Well, I don't even know if I have any stinky.
That's a double bean, right? I don't know.
No, hold on. Is it Tutti Frutti versus Stinky Socks? Is that what that's what the options are? Yeah, okay. I got some Tutti Fruttis in here.
Okay.
All right, here you go, Adam. Just so you're happy, I can talk through this. I'll just
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the banana game? Aren't you a monkey with a banana?
So Toss. All right. For those that don't know, Adam loves To the Top. It's a game where you only move by grabbing things with your hands and propelling yourself forward. It's a really good game. Soundtrack's good, level design's good, things like that. Toss is a game in that vein. It's a game where you're a monkey. You had a spaceship that crashed, and you got to get all the components of your spaceship, kind of like Toe Jam and Earl, right?
Cool.
But you also got to get bananas on the way. And the way you move around again is you grab a rail or you grab an element that is highlighted yellow, and then you fling yourself across the environment and then have to grab the rail to catch yourself and navigate through this environment so that you can get to the end and hit the finish button. Kind of like a Ninja Warrior type thing, right? There's a button at the end. That's what you got to ultimately do. And then in each level, there's like a speed challenge you got to accomplish. There's a, get all the bananas challenge you got to accomplish. And there's a minimum grabs challenge you got to accomplish. So like you have to fling yourself over things that you could easily grab so that you can minimize the number of times you grab something. That's another challenge. So each level you have to try to get all three of those. You don't have to do them in the same run, but that's an extra element thrown in there. Adam, this game was fun as hell. I bought it because I was expecting to the top. It's not quite to the top, right? It's like a platformer that you do with your hands, and it's almost like a puzzle, right? You have these bars laid out in front of you, you have branches, you have bushes laid out in front of you, and you're trying to reach out and grab. But I was playing it on a lunch break when it came out, or when I bought it, and I could not stop playing it. It was I overstayed my welcome with my lunch break, and I kept playing it, and I was getting out of breath because I was flinging myself around, and I was getting excited, and I was sweating. And this game is so much fun, and I just wanted to talk about it. Really, one, to try to get you to eat a bean, which I almost did, but I was too generous here.
Yeah.
And two, to try to get you to play this game because although the levels are short, it's not.
How much you pay for it?
Oh goodness, I can't remember. It's on sale. We'll cover it in the sales. Although the levels are short, there's nothing as cool as, say, To the Top VR. There's certainly feelings of To the Top VR where you're like navigating around, grabbing pipes and moving yourself around and flinging yourself and grabbing stuff. It all works really well. It's smooth, it's fun, it's exciting. It's a gem of a game, and it's the kind of stuff I love in VR, right? It's like they're experimenting, they're iterating on one gameplay mechanic and making as much fun as possible out of that, and it works so damn well. I felt like a monkey,
and you looked like
pipes.
one too.
and I smelled like
but
one too.
Tis. Yeah. That's right.
But tis. I think I got one. Yeah. So Adam, I want you to play this game. What's it going to take to make you to play this game?
So here's my thing. This would be a perfect game if they just gave one level as a demo, because I think it would only be one level for you to be like, yeah, this is worth $20, but it's a big risk to spend $20 just haphazardly on it. And like, for example, now maybe I'm a little intrigued based on your recommendation, but before this, I wasn't interested whatsoever. This wasn't even on the map. So I really wish this had a demo.
It seems like it has. I mean, a demo. The first level is like the levels take maybe, if you're doing a speed run, like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds to get through. But you spend more time. That's if you're doing the speed run, right? Like you do one grab, fling yourself, and try to fling yourself right to hit the stop button as you fly past it. But the actual levels take a bit longer, and I only play like the first 2 worlds, and there's like, I don't know, 12 worlds or something like that. So it's not the longest game, but I imagine they're getting more complex as I go through the game. So maybe you watch some footage of the game. You can see how.
Here's what we should do this week. You should do a golden stream. You stream it. I'll watch it. I'll get to see your movements. I'll get to see the game, and that will decide whether I spend money on it or not.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll do a golden stream this week for it. It's really fun, and I think if you can get it for like $10 or thereabouts, it's well worth it. But
that's the game he plays other than Resident Evil 4. He's playing Toss. Okay, go over sales. Let's go. Yeah. Let me tell you guys what you should be playing.
Yeah, we do sales because I think it's Adam's time to shine here. Adam will give it to you unfiltered. J Devil loves it. Adam, right out of the gate, we got let's see, Operation Wolf Returns First Mission VR for $17.99. What do you think?
I don't even know what that is. Is that new?
It's an arcade shooter. It's a VR version of an arcade game.
No.
All right. How about Hello Neighbor Search and Rescue for $19.49? No, $17.99 if you got PS Plus.
It should be free. No.
How about Kill It With Fire VR, that game where you're trying to kill spiders in your house for $8.99?
It seems like it's going to have a 30-minute novelty and that's it. Is your money not worth more than that? If it's not, buy it. But no, for me, absolutely not.
I bought it. I haven't played it yet.
Of course. He just doesn't want to play Resident Evil 4.
Townsman VR for $24.79. And
I got the demo. I'm going to play the demo. This has always intrigued me. but I need to play the demo first. That is probably as good of a price as you're going to get on it, right? Isn't it a $40 game?
Yeah, it's
So,
normally $40. Yeah.
I think that's probably going to be the best price you're going to get. Play the demo, go from there.
All right. How about Tentacular for 1624?
You played it, you liked it. My issue is there's nothing necessarily novel about it that sets it apart from these other, that similar style of game. So, as an adult male, I don't really want to play it.
To me, like 20 is a sweet spot. Like 1624 to me is like, that's a total buy. I really, looking back, having played it, I think I was maybe too harsh and Tentacular. It's a really good game.
We met the guys and they were great, the developers, and you feel bad that's why. Anyhow,
to a degree, I say to buy. Adam says, I don't know. Moss for $12.99.
No.
Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs for $12.99.
Please don't waste your money. I mean, come on. They should take that off the store. That's a disgrace.
B99 Overclock for $9.74.
Good price.
This is the game I was hoping was a Battlezone replacement. I do own it. I haven't played it.
Of course not. I'm going to watch a gameplay. Probably not, but I'll watch a gameplay. I'll see.
The footage looks a bit rough, which has me concerned, but I think if you play it, it might be a bit better. Red Matter 2 for $19.49.
No.
Wow. Okay. Moss 2 for $12.99.
No.
Horizon Call of the Mountain for $39.59.
I mean, guys, come on. It's just too like I would like to play it. I'm not gonna do that. It's ridiculous. This is gonna be the new Batman Arkham VR. Remember, Batman never was free. It should have been free many, many times, and they never did it. And I never played it. And I'm not going to play this either because they're not going to make it free. Also, PSVR 2's been out for an entire year almost. We haven't gotten a single PlayStation Plus free PSVR 2 game. It's effing bullcrap. It's a separate topic.
Except for Humanity, but okay.
Dude, let's be honest, that was a flat game. Enhanced in VR, but it was a flat game. They gave that out. Next.
I do think Horizon should be, like, after 1 year, it should be the PS Plus game that everybody should be able to play. It's $39.59 doesn't seem bad for me because it's like a maybe 8-hour, maybe 6-hour experience, but it's more expensive than Resident Evil 4 right now, which they should not have happen. Humanity for $19.79.
It's free. Get it for free. PlayStation Plus. It's great. You need to play it, Alex. Everyone needs to play it. Very good game.
Buy a month of PlayStation Plus instead, and then play this during that month. Waltz of the Wizard for $13.99.
Probably a pretty good price. I need to do more research. I'm on the fence. Probably not going to do it, but I'm on the fence.
How about 4VR Pool, $19.99, a billiards game?
No, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. Play Pocket Pool instead. It would be more fun.
With Rad VR, yeah. Before Your Eyes for $11.24.
Yeah, I think it's worth playing. At that price, I would play it. It would be nice if it were cheaper, but it's unique enough. Story is absolute trash, but the mechanics I think are interesting. Good use of VR.
I really like the game. $11.24 is like the price of a movie ticket, and it's about as long as 2 movies. I think that's well worth it. Yeah. Firewall Ultra for $29.99.
No. They should just take that off.
The servers are going down. Yeah. Res Infinite $22.49.
I feel bad if you haven't played this gem. If you haven't, you need to play it. At this point, buying it physically actually isn't that much more expensive than that. So, but yes, you need to play it.
If somehow you didn't get this game for free or for cheap, you need to get this game. Yeah. Demio for $29.99.
No.
Are you still talking? I can't.
Oh, yeah. I think, yes, no, don't do it.
Okay. How about Tetris Effect Connected for $29.99?
No.
All right, that's it for the sales. I thought we had more, Adam.
Yeah, dude, I saw some because I bought Synapse. It was on sale. Now I bought it like 3 days ago, but I'm surprised the sale ended. Maybe bad timing. I did play Synapse, I bought Synapse. I haven't played it yet. Alex, this is your last chance. If I don't like Synapse, I can't consider you a real reviewer, and I'm going to disregard everything you say in terms of your reviews. This is it. big boy. I think you have a good chance of being successful. I think it probably is a good game, but do you have any last qualms? Anything to preface before I begin Synapse?
Think of it less like a far point and more like a super hot, where you're going to be replaying stuff. You're going to be repeating stuff. Approach it that way and try to just imagine yourself as like the superhero going through these short levels and just destroying dudes. I think you'll have the most fun with it.
I'm excited. I hope you had fun listening to Play PSVR 2, the podcast. We hopefully shed some joy in your life. I hope you have a New Year's resolution. I hope it's to be more you, be more direct. Listen to more Play PSVR. That's really what your resolution should be. Tell your mom, tell your auntie, tell your cousins, any female in your family or friend group, tell them. Listen to us, rate us, berate us, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Pandora. We're on them all. Share us up. Thank you guys for listening. We love you. We see you in the next, I don't know, episode week. Blammo!